Hello, Farees. So finally, after a long, we are interacting in a podcast conversation manner, I will say.
I
काफी
know.
टाइम हो गया था एंड थैंक यू सो मच। मतलब आपका आइडिया सही लगा कि जो मैंने एक मैसेज डाला था कि करना क्या है क्या नहीं करना, मैं मतलब मेरा तो पर्पस ये था कि आप बताओगे कि ऐसे कैसे बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है और ऐसे को इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते। तो आपने कहा क्यों ना एक छोटी सी कन्वर्सेशन कर ली जाए। सर मेरा ना आपसे एक सबसे पहले एक क्वेश्चन था कि मतलब मुझे ऐसे ऐसे का तो रहा नहीं ना अपना अपना, तो आप ही बताओगे टाइटल क्या है। तो आपने मुझे बोला कि द वेकअप कॉल, द अनफिल्टर्ड रियलिटी। तो why you want to name this session as a wake up call for the students?
See, I am very good at feeling the pulse of aspirants, my students. I'm particularly talking about my students, and I could sense a lethargy. उनको बहुत डांटा हूँ, and that is quite common across. I spoke to you, I spoke to other mentor friends of mine. They agreed upon this thing कि ये जो मेंस हुआ उसके बाद से those who do not write mains also, they are taking it little lightly. And if you see that, if you take this phase little lightly and you completely start, let's say prelims in Jan, the window for getting a rank in 2026 is gone. If you are not mains ready by Jan, you will never be mains ready, probably, unless you have a miracle. You will not be mains ready for 26.
अब सर मेंस रेडी फॉर 26। अब मुझे ना एक प्रॉब्लम और है। Is this mains preparation and prelims preparation are the separate thing? Because अभी आप मार्केट में देखो prelims courses, to be very honest मैंने भी स्टूडेंट्स को प्रॉमिस कर दिया it will be there, but I won't start before December। और 2 महीने अभी मैं मेंस पढ़ने को कैसे पढ़ना है वो मैं बता दूंगा। तो बट ये ना मेरे को ऐसा लगा मैं पीयर प्रेशर में कोर्स प्लान किया और मोस्ट लाइकली विद इन अ वीक में लॉन्च भी कर दूंगा। बट मुझे ना फील नहीं आ रही यार वो कोर्स मतलब मैं लॉन्च करके कि मैं प्रीलिम्स पढ़ा लूँ या कैसे बोल दूं किसी को प्रीलिम्स पढ़ो। आई वांट योर ओपिनियन, क्या मेरा कंफ्यूजन ठीक है कि ये सेपरेट है या इंटीग्रेटेड है, क्या है ये मेंस और प्रीलिम्स का ड्रामा अभी?
To be honest, there are various schools of thought. My schools of thought is, if the syllabus is overlapping, you study the same topic both from a prelims point of view and a mains point of view. But when the push comes to shove in January, you only focus more on the facts, by hearting, solving MCQs, the ability to eliminate and get it right. That is specific prelims preparation when it is backed by regular MCQ solving tests. Otherwise, yes, they go in hand to hand in to a great extent, but I don't think they are separate. You can call them as sides of the same coin. But yes, Jan onwards, you specifically focus on certain preliminary facts, figures, sorry, no, data, your economic survey comes, your budget comes, all, and current affairs, you start paying more attention there. And when it, after prelims, you start focusing more on your examples, data, active recall, etc. So, but if you do it properly planned, it can go in an integrated manner.
अब सर व्हाट विल बी योर टू सेंट्स ऑन द कोर्सेज, प्रीलिम्स कोर्सेज पर से, मतलब ये जो पैनिक बाइंग हो रही है, फियर मॉन्गरिंग हो रही है, आई जस्ट वांट यू टू डिसमेंटल द पर्सपेक्टिव।
See, there are two types of courses. One which capitalize or to, for a lack of a better word, which market on fear. One that have genuine actual deliverables, where जिनसे aspirants का भला होगा, ठीक है. And sorry to say this, but जो fear marketing वाले courses है वो ज्यादा है, and genuine courses are less. And to be honest, and I'll speak on behalf of you, we are not marketing any of the course. This is just a reality that we are trying to project here. हम कोई कोर्स नहीं बेच रहे कि डरा हो रहा है, एंड वो बेचना भी नहीं चाहिए, राइट? सो द थिंग हियर इज, वो जब से प्रीलिम्स टफ हुआ है, ओके, पीपल आर targeting fear and fear of missing out. Two fears they are basically
या
targeting. And the thing here is, sometimes courses may be needed for specific subject. Let's say economic की तैयारी, or you're chronically weak at economy. Yes, they are necessary, right? But not, it's not a panacea. ऐसे नहीं कि prelims course में लग गया. And given the nature of prelims, how it has been in the past 4 years, any course, unless you are backing up with proper tests and your own ability, and you're enabling yourself to clear prelims, nothing is going to help.
सर मैंने क्या फाइंड आउट किया आफ्टर इंटरेक्शन विद सम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स, It's not about the course. They don't have faith and trust on themselves.
Point.
तो हाउ टू कम आउट फ्रॉम दिस पर्सपेक्टिव? मुझे अपने ऊपर भरोसा नहीं है, बट मुझे कोर्स के ऊपर भरोसा हो रहा है। अब वो स्टूडेंट को खुद पे भरोसा आ जाएगा, नहीं मैं क्लियर कर सकता हूँ यार। क्योंकि इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट एनी कोर्स, इफ समवन सेज कि यार ये 5-7 सब्जेक्ट के लेक्चर्स हैं आपके इस कोर्स में, तो व्हाट यू डिड योर ड्यूरिंग योर फाउंडेशंस, व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड प्रिपरेशन, व्हाट यू डिड? क्योंकि मुझे एक चीज से प्रॉब्लम है कि आप लोगों को अगर 80 टॉपर टॉक्स देखनी है, आप देखो 75 में मैं गारंटी दे रहा हूं टॉपर बोलेगा कि रिवीजन इज द की फॉर द प्रीलिम्स। बट एक ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी है कि आर वॉचिंग स्पीड इज ऑलवेज लेस देन अवर रीडिंग स्पीड। तो अब when you're watching something, it means you cannot revise it n number of times. It will always be n minus 10 number of times. तो अब इस सिचुएशन में हम स्टूडेंट्स को बाहर कैसे निकालें? मतलब हाउ आर यू गाइडिंग योर स्टूडेंट्स?
I basically plan them like, I give them a baseline, like first, like how I give baseline essay. So I give them like a full length mock directly. लगा दो, पिछले साल का उठा लो, कुछ भी उठा लो, you see how much your score. Then I give them actionable targets like 7 days के लिए ये करो और study this one subject and then you see if you improve or no. And if you see अगर multiple revisions होंगे and you daily solve MCQs, it's not rocket science, sir. Even the like if you feel the least prepared or the person who has the least confidence in themselves, उनका भी score improvement आएगा. Just that they don't persist with themselves and they don't believe within themselves for long enough to see that end result. And one more thing, what is happening is the tendency of students during the exam. अब इस बार मई 24 को एग्जाम होने वाला है. Many people prepare well but they falter at the execution, and main reason is lack of belief in themselves. I have had students who I told ki very good chance of clearing prelims, who I expected them to clear prelims, but वहां जाके sir got stressed, attempted very less, or got panicked, attempted all the questions. CSAT में थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया sir. So that cases have increased, and it is a clear indication of lack of beliefs. And one simple tool is just keep a baseline where you are at the start of January or the end of December, whenever you are starting your prelims preparation.
When
And
to start, sir?
मैं तो बोलता हूँ रिपब्लिक डे, दैट हैज ऑलवेज बीन माय बेसलाइन. ओके, रिपब्लिक डे इज, unless you are very poor, like yeah, you give in Jan also 3-4 hours for prelims, but still keep little bit of mains. But yes, after Republic Day, given the nature of prelims, unless you're too good at prelims, some are very natural at prelim को 1 महीना 1.5 महीना 2 महीना काफी रहेगा. Just keep doing.
अच्छा, मेरा क्या है, मैं ना हमेशा स्टूडेंट्स को कैटेगरीज में डिफाइन कर देता हूँ। ठीक है, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है जो बच्चा इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, स्पेसिफिकली जो बच्चा मार्च अप्रैल में इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, तो जो मार्च में इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, ही इज नॉट रीडिंग मेंस और प्रीलिम्स, ही इज रीडिंग फॉर द
Definitely.
इंटरव्यू। वो अपने
Interview.
डेफ के साथ परेशान है, वो अपने 2 महीने
Yeah.
वो दे देता है, चाहे वो दूसरा इंटरव्यू उसका हो। बट वो बच्चा प्रीलिम्स की तैयारी कब शुरू होगा? सपोज मार्च में उसका इंटरव्यू होता है, लास्ट वीक ऑफ मार्च से शुरू करता है, यार वो तो 2 महीने में कर लेगा।
Yes.
उसे प्रीलिम्स पढ़े भी काफी टाइम हो गया, लास्ट टाइम जब उसने प्रीलिम्स पढ़ा था तभी तो प्रीलिम्स पढ़ा था।
Yes.
और देन देयर कम्स अनदर पीपल, देन दोस्त हु से कि वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग फ्रॉम द लास्ट 6-7 मंथ्स। तो मैं कैटेगराइज करता हूँ, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब वो कर सकते हैं तो आप भी कर सकते हो,
Yes.
बशर्ते प्रोसेस ठीक हो। यहाँ पे
I,
मुझे सबसे बड़ा इशू क्या लग रहा है सर, आप जरूर इस पे अपना पर्सपेक्टिव दीजिएगा मुझे, कि वेदर स्टूडेंट्स आर वेस्टिंग देयर टाइम ऑन टेकिंग टू मच ऑन देयर प्लेट। अब क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा उनकी प्लेट पे? आई विल जस्ट काउंट द सब्जेक्ट्स फॉर यू, लेट्स काउंट। पॉलिटी 1, इकोनॉमी 2, हिस्ट्री 3, ज्योग्राफी 4, देन कम्स एनवायरमेंट 5th, 6th साइंस एंड टेक, 7th comes your current affairs, and I do not know how economy, environment, science and tech are different from the current affairs। क्योंकि अगर आप पॉलिटी प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो तो करंट अफेयर्स उसके साथ साथ प्रिपेयर होगा,
exactly.
ऐसा आप अलग कुछ नहीं, लेकिन आई विल काउंट इट डिफरेंट, बिकॉज
Separately. Yeah.
मार्केट में चलिए अलग रहा है। क्योंकि
Hmm.
पीपल क्लेम कि उनके करंट अफेयर्स के कोर्स से 40 क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, तो क्या वो पॉलिटी वाला क्वेश्चन करंट अफेयर्स में काउंट करूं या पॉलिटी में काउंट करूं? मतलब मुझे क्लैरिटी नहीं है इस चीज की। ठीक है, तो समहाउ 9 सब्जेक्ट्स यहाँ पे हो गए। वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर द सी सेट,
Definitely not.
10,
Hmm.
देन सी सेट, देन सर उसके बाद कुछ नए सब्जेक्ट्स क्रिएट कर दिए गए, मैपिंग जो ज्योग्राफी से अलग हो गई है, देन इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस वो मैपिंग से अलग हो गई है। तो इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट इट, इंटरनेशनल इश्यूज पे कैसे क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं? दे आर आस्किंग द प्लेसेस इन द न्यूज, या कुछ हुआ है करंट अफेयर से है। तो अब अगर मैंने काउंट किया, टोटल 10 to 12 सब्जेक्ट्स हो गए हैं। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है, 10 के 12 सब्जेक्ट्स के मॉड्यूल्स अवेलेबल है। मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर कोई कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट आपको सिर्फ 2 मॉड्यूल भी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है एक दिन में, रोज 12 तो नहीं प्रोवाइड कर सकते, स्टिल
Exactly.
एनी क्लास नॉट लेस देन 2 आवर्स, तो
Yes.
अब 4 आवर्स तो आपके स्क्रीन टाइम हो गया। एंड इट्स नॉट रिवीजन, यू आर जस्ट स्टडिंग। इट
Yes.
माइट बी केस कि जो आपने पहले पढ़ रखा है उसमें कुछ कॉमन होगा, बट सिंस अब आपका सोर्स बदल गया तो आपकी रिवीजन कम हो गई है। तो दिस इज अ परफेक्ट रेसिपी फॉर द फेलियर रादर देन द क्लियरिंग एनी एग्जामिनेशन।
Exactly.
दिस इज व्हाट माय एनालिसिस इज।
To add on to that, like I'll give you this example of this prelims. That prelims was on April, sorry, May 25th.
May 20th.
And yeah, and April end there was स्टेट कर्नाटका केपीएससी एकदम वाहियात एग्जाम है, पूरा बेकार एग्जाम है, वो रिजल्ट कभी नहीं आने वाले, मेंस वाले. सो मेंस एग्जाम था. So a lot of my students, very like very studious, very UPSC deserving students were giving that, and they were giving full throttle state का means. They got done on April end में उनका खत्म हुआ कि this thing, and they had less than a month to prepare for UPSC, and they just there was nothing, there was no much time to prepare, so they just gone back to their basics, revised it effectively, and most of them wrote UPSC mains. Most of them wrote UPSC mains.
Nice.
Yeah, and if it was some of them took a little bit of risk, and they did not apply for civils, and they just applied forest. Just they were not sure of their prelims, and they were well above the predicted civils cutoff, but slightly below forest cutoff.
Forest one.
And these are the people who did not believe in themselves कि उस short window of less than a month में उनका prelims की तैयारी होगी.
प्रिपरेशन हो जाएगा.
Yeah, because they were already main ready, because state का syllabus काफी UPSC से overlap करता है, ethics भी है वगैरह. Yes, that was the case. And one thing I observed is most of them were stress free. उनको they were having an attitude like ठीक है अभी 25 दिन है, जितना हो सकता है उतना करेंगे, नहीं हो रहा है तो ठीक ही है. So that there was no extra stress. Already एक मेंस दे रखे, एक जितना होता है उतना करेंगे. They just
अब
revised.
सर आपसे क्वेश्चन रहेगा मेरा, क्योंकि व्हाट आई हैव सीन दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी 4 things are game changers in the mains. One is essay,
Yeah,
second is ethics, third is optional, last one is your interview marks.
yeah,
Because here no equality is there. GS 1 2 3 you can say average out हो गया है. If you ask out of 300 people are like 750 people are getting some 300 320 330. This is what the average out thing.
yeah.
But these 4 papers deviation, standard deviation is quite high.
Yes.
Don't you think just because the fear of prelims is being put in the minds of the people, तो इंटरव्यू साइड कर देते हैं, बट पीपल आर एक्चुअली कंप्रोमाइजिंग ऑन देयर ऑप्शनल्स, एथिक्स एंड एसे.
100% agree, sir. And especially with respect to essay, like let's go back to our times when we were giving. आप कभी सुनते थे कि essay की वजह से रैंक नहीं मिला? It was very rare to hear कि
रेयर.
essay की वजह से रैंक नहीं आया. It was always like essay की वजह से रैंक आया है.
अच्छा आया क्या?
हाँ, अच्छा स्कोर आया. सो ठीक है, 110 120 एवरेज स्कोर आ रहा है, ठीक है, 140 150 आ रहा है, तो यू आर गेटिंग दैट वेज बिटवीन योर कंपटीशन एंड योर स्कोरिंग. बट इट वाज वेरी रेयर टू हियर कि यार एसए की वजह से रैंक गए. बट नाउ द सैड रियलिटी, अगेन आई एम नॉट पुटिंग द फियर ऑफ एसए, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग द सैड रियलिटी. नाउ यू हैव हैड सो मेनी एस्पिरेंट्स जिसको आपने खुद मेरे पास भेजा है, जिनका एसए की
बिल्कुल
वजह से रैंक नहीं आया. And this time I was
ट्रू.
seeing the mark sheet, 57, 60 out of 250, right? And same is with
एग्जैक्टली सर.
ethics. And ethics, तुम कोई भी कोर्स ले लो, कुछ भी पढ़ लो, right? Even when I teach ethics, I always tell कि जो भी पढ़ा रहा हूँ उससे आंसर्स नहीं आएंगे.
नहीं
Answers,
आएगा.
but because it's an applied thing. They will not ask what is ethics and everything. Those questions are gone. It's always applied. Applied के लिए brain apply करना पड़ता है. And same is with all the optionals. And if you do see, that's where you create a wedge between you and your competition, essay ethics and your optionals. And let's say last you studied essay ethics and optional was in December, or let's say even Jan, you are rusty by 4 months, and you are getting roughly 89 days result ka sab hata ke 75 study days between prelims and mains. In that, if you are rusty in all optional GS and ethics, and obviously your essay, you are not going to able to revise effectively. And sir, you will not believe me, this year I had a student, वाज लाइक सर एक भी ऐसे लिखने नहीं हुआ, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग किया उस पे फीडबैक दे दो। मैं बोला भाई कैसे दे सकता हूँ ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग पे फीडबैक? It has happened for the first time in my, I know I have not had a long career, it's just 7 8 years, but first time somebody is telling brainstorming पे sir marks, like just tell me if I'm this thing, 2 dimension introduction conclusion लिख दूंगा and just give me a broad this thing, if I can tell you if you have interpreted the topic correctly, but I cannot judge you anything beyond that, because it's just brainstorming. We cannot give you marks for thinking.
Exactly. And this is what happening in the essay classes, to be very honest, sir. I know what kind of energy you put up. That's why I send my people to you. The reason is same only. Have seen people coming up with the essay course. They're giving the directives only on the board or the pads.
Okay,
They are not sitting with the essays. And what I feel, essay subject, someone has to read your 11 pages.
definitely.
It cannot be just given in a 1 or 2 page or just one-sided delivery. ऐसे का आप नहीं कर सकते, मुझे ऐसा लगता है। सर एक चीज और, what I feel, I want to here create a fear, to be very honest, in the aspirant community. You have all the right to disagree, sir. You
Yeah,
are the
yeah, don't
representative of
worry.
theirs. Okay. These courses are putting people into 5-year trap. 5 year, why I'm telling you? First, if someone starts prelims preparation from right away, you know that when I just had some jolly moment on my channel, those people, those who have come up with their courses, they have come up with the explanations in the videos. They are saying that कि अरे क्या हमें नहीं पता, हमने अपने बच्चों को मेंस पढ़ाया कि उनका अक्टूबर तक कैसे आंसर राइटिंग होगा, इट्स जस्ट ओरिएंटेशन। देन पीपल आर सेइंग कि नहीं नहीं, इनको हम 3 तरह के कैटेगरीज में हैं, जो बहुत ज्यादा बुरे हैं उनका अभी, फिर जो उनका ठीक है वो दिसंबर, फिर जनवरी। सो पीपल हैव कम अप विद द एक्सप्लेनेशंस, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, बट आई एम नॉट दैट कन्विंस्ड स्टिल। सो व्हाट आई बिलीव, if you prepare for the particularly prelims right now, there are high chances, according to the good courses, that you will clear the prelims. But more than that, there are very high chances you will fail mains. 90% chances are there that you will fail because you are not well prepared. Because prelims can be cleared by anyone, even on the luck. But mains is not a game of luck. If you say, sir, where the certainty lies in this examination process, that neither it's prelims nor it's interview, it's the mains where we can be little certain कि भाई इंटरव्यू कॉल लाने के लिए क्या किया जा सकता है, वो देखते हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए क्या किया जा सकता है, rest know where we can manage it. Now if you fail mains, then your result will be out somewhere September.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
sorry, or will
November.
November, December. Okay. When your results are there, you have very less amount of time to prepare for the mains. But because you cleared the prelims last year, because you prepared it from the November itself, your subconscious mind will push you कि नहीं November से prelims का prepare करना है. Then you are stuck in the same loop. By the time you will realize that no, I have taken some wrong decisions in my life, you would have wasted your 2 attempts, which means 3 years to me. And then your mental peace is also getting down because you are not getting the results. And luck by chance, you fail in the prelims. To be very honest, we have a student, Rishendra, if you remember, sir.
Yeah, Rishu.
Yeah, yeah. So luck was not his, he got his name in the reserved list, to
Yeah,
be
I saw that.
frank.
He was there, but he's
Yeah.
already IPS, so.
He's already IPS. So he failed prelims this year. And it was a heartbreak. You got IPS, then you appeared for the interview, then you failed prelims. Then you have to report to your academy. You cannot
Yeah.
prepare in the academy.
And the NPA, you cannot even
You
imagine.
cannot. You cannot. Simple. So you know that, sir, this 3-4 years down, same thing can happen to you in the prelims stage itself. You're failing prelims, you're failing mains. What if you again fail prelims?
Yeah.
So this whole process has become shady. Your, in particular, approach is getting, what to say, narrowed. You're focusing on a particular task, but larger picture you aren't looking at. So this will certainly push you in the 5-year plan. This is what I feel, sir.
Yeah, And to just give a more perspective, to an extent, I agree with this. I'll come to that in just a bit. Now, it actually is creating a vicious cycles where your mains preparation will remain very underprepared. Let's say you cleared prelims and mains you're underprepared. What happens, what I have seen personally with my mentees is, by June end, you know that इस बार नहीं हो रहा है, इस बार जाना है, मस्त मेंस का एक्सपीरियंस लेना है, try your best shot, try to
Exactly.
miracle. Okay. And sometimes I have discussed, I have literally told one of my closest mentee when she was she still has attempts, so I will not take her name. When she was giving her first mains, I like, this time is for participation. Okay, because your mains, you are not at all ready, and option ready नहीं है, yes है तो you are writing very poorly, नहीं होने वाला है इस बार. Okay, go, and immediately after the prelims we are going to start for mains. That 1 week you take break and come, then we are going to start for mains, because इस बार तो गया. But many people, and human psychology is, mains दिया है, जैसा भी हुआ हो, उम्मीद तो होती है कि मतलब सम मिरेकल, सम दिस थिंग,
कुछ हो जाएगा.
या सो रिजल्ट आने तक उतना इफेक्टिव पढ़ाई नहीं होता है इन 90% ऑफ द पीपल हु हैव गिवन मेंस. एंड रिजल्ट आने के बाद, नाउ सी, अभी नवंबर 10 से 12 के बीच में रिजल्ट आएगा, ठीक है. अगर इफ हार्ट ब्रेक मोस्ट लाइकली एज एक्सपेक्टेड, एक हफ्ता तो रहता है, नो मैटर हाउ
True that, sir. True that.
प्रिपेयर्ड, राइट. नवंबर इज ऑलमोस्ट गॉन. So then you are left for 1 month. 1 month में तुम, before you understand what is optional and everything, your brain is telling, like, पिछले बार you studied so much for prelims, इस बार नहीं पढ़ेगा तो नहीं होगा. And you create that cycle, and the next year the cycle repeats. And you will probably, unless you take a break from, or like proper 1 year, like, I'm not going to appear for this year, I'm going to get mains ready, I don't see any way of rectifying that. You'll still be able to clear prelims. Let's say you always clear prelims, but the thing here is, अगर mains नहीं ready नहीं रहोगे, or your mains notes are not sorted, your conceptual clarity is not there, your essays are not sorted, your GS are not sorted, you will not clear. And coming to the prelims courses, see, there are always good courses in the market, right? So you need to have that maturity to identify which are the good courses. And good courses, this thing is, they will always be genuine. And like, my thing here is very simple. If you are not getting good mentorship with that course, doesn't matter which course is that, because ultimately, whether it's prelims, mains, or interview, it's the mentor that matters, right? No matter how many classes are there, how many tests are there, if it is not followed by mentorship, okay, then it is most likely not going to be a good course. You should have direct contact to the mentors, like, trusted mentors. So that is one thing to identify good courses and not so good courses.
Sir, last side of this episode of ours, why people are, I just had some interaction. Some people came up on the Zoom meet and they were just interested to join certain courses, but when they saw my messages, they said, नहीं सर से बात कर लेते हैं एक बार. So what I want you to say, they're saying that sir, मेंस ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर हुआ नहीं, प्रीलिम्स भी नहीं हुआ ना, तो घर वाले क्वेश्चन करेंगे, फ्रेंड्स क्वेश्चन करेंगे, ठीक है. तो what do you think, sir? Do we have sufficient time right now to prepare for the mains?
See, I had here the launch after immediately, like on October 1st or 2nd, I stood there and I told, 5 महीने है तुम्हारे पास, October, November, December, January, and little bit of February, where you can give a little more time for this thing. But more realistically speaking, till year end and little bit of January, which will decide your rank in 2026. To be honest, you have very less time. Now, what you can do, like, in November, it's already 1 week is gone, and let's say you study till Jan 15th or Jan 26th, whatever. What you can do is, you can still be to an extent mains ready. Like, you can do a little bit of like note making for, if you have not done already, optional enrichment, GS enrichment, essay you can do, write a little. Essay though you can write even till March, because weekly 3 hours so आराम से
हो जाता है.
Yeah, when you're bored, you can write every 10 days or 15 days. That's not an issue. But there is still a chance. But to be more honestly, if you have missed September end, say October, and you have wasted, it's actually a golden opportunity you have missed. But if you don't buckle up now, then it might be too late.
Then you are losing the attempt.
you may clear prelims, but mains, unless some and see, miracles do happen. Okay, I am not denying that. कभी कभी अगर नसीब में लिख के आयो कि होना है तो no force can stop, right? And
No
नसीब
one
में लिख
can
के आयो
stop.
नहीं होना है तो जितना भी means prepared हो, interview prepared हो, prelims prepared हो, कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. So that I
कुछ
have
नहीं
seen
होने
with my
वाला.
own eyes. But more realistically speaking, you yourself will get that feeling कि हाँ इस बार नहीं होने वाला है, इस बार this thing. And you told about relatives pressure, friends pressure, right? I can understand, like especially if you are done with 2 attempts or 3 attempts.
Yeah,
Peer
that is the
pressure is,
context.
yeah, peer pressure is a lot. But the thing here is, if you like, acceptance is the key. That what are your realistic chances? Prelims prepare होने से, like, you are getting nothing. It's just a gate pass, right? If you go till interview, at least your name is there on the list. You may get even call from PSUs and everything. Here, clearing mains is something sort of an achievement, right? Sadly speaking, prelims बहुत सारे बच्चे clear करते हैं, and it's not a, like, a huge achievement in itself. And the thing here is, this short term, whatever you're trying to do may end up compromising your chances for long term success. And I'm pretty sure if you are in that zone, if any student is watching that who has gone through that or going through that, they can properly relate to this, where you're stuck in that cycle where means you're not unable to work on.
Okay, so in the end, I'll just ask two questions in a single question. What should be the Farees Sir's advice for people, those who want to prepare for prelims? Which month ideally it should be? And initial 2 steps, like किसी चीज को करने से पहले हम उसका context बनाते हैं. For example, before we started this podcast, we just had certain words कि सर इस टॉपिक पे करना है.
Exactly.
तो प्रीलिम्स मोड में जाने से पहले प्रीलिम्स के लिए कैसे माइंडसेट बनाना है वो आपको बताना है जो आपका रहा है. Second question, if someone is still lagging in the mains, which 2 or 3 papers which is doable in the 3 months? I guess 1 month, 1 paper is good strategy.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
So which 3 papers one should focus on apart from the optionals? 2 or 3 papers depending upon the time. क्योंकि 4 तो नहीं होंगे अगर आप अपने अभी तक मस्ती मारी है तो.
Exactly. So, coming to the prelims part, the one ritual that you should always follow before you start full-fledged prelim preparations, or let's say 3 hours there, your Jan, let's say you start in Jan giving 3 hours or 4 hours specifically for prelims. One thing is, if you have already, like, let's say you have already given prelims, successful or unsuccessful, doesn't matter. Take the last year's paper, वो तो होता है, many of you keep, especially the ones which you have attended in the exam. Just sit there and see where you went wrong or where you went right. What worked for you, what did not work for you. Because you would have scratched something, written something, you know your mind working better than anybody else. So first analyze what went wrong and what went right. And most importantly, you should have self-awareness of the subjects that are natural to you. Some may be natural at polity or economy, but not so natural at science and tech and environment. So you should have that self-awareness of which are the subjects that are natural to you and which are not so natural to you. Start with not so natural ones. See, the trend is we start with polity or economy. If polity and economy are too good, why are you starting with that? Start with the subjects like, science and tech or environment, or, like, irrespective of the time it takes. Because these things you can still cover up. Like, you can, obviously you'll do multiple rounds of revision. So don't, see what works for you. And you should know what works for you and what doesn't work. And last time you tried doing something or overdid or underdid, now you have to analyze that before you repeat the same thing again. And one more thing, sir, how was your performance in the examination hall? Did it come out as per your expectation? Did you perform? If you have prepared very well, did you perform well? If you're not prepared well, obviously it doesn't matter what you did. But if you're prepared well, yeah. Because if you have prepared very well, but you faltered at execution, you have to work on your mindset also. Because mindset is very important given the tricky nature of prelims. And don't watch, I know you'll be watching this on YouTube, but don't watch random videos like watch this and get 140 plus, 160 plus. I don't know, I still can't believe people have thousands, lakhs of views on that video.
I would like to share something with you. In the last curiosity batch, I was supposed to take certain sessions of the prelims and all. So I said, यार ये जो tricks वाले videos होते हैं ना, तो we will have. So you know that, sir, one of my friend Abhinav is there. He helps me out in these sessions and all. So तो आई वाज लाइक कि ना कि ठीक है मैं भी एक वीडियो देख लेता हूँ, तो आई जस्ट सर्च प्रीलिम्स ट्रिक्स वीडियोस, और उस पे एक वीडियो आया जिसपे सबसे ज्यादा व्यूज थे। मैंने कहा इसी पे एक व्यूज बढ़ा देता हूँ, सबसे ज्यादा होगा तो कुछ अच्छा होगा। तो आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड लुकिंग एट द पर्सन हु वाज सॉल्विंग द पेपर। He got all the questions correct with his logic,
Okay.
and he did not clear the prelims cutoff. That was the fallacy. So I was just looking at it. भाई अगर आपकी लॉजिक, आपके सारे तुक्के, आपके ट्रिक्स हर क्वेश्चन में लग रहा है, तो मतलब कुछ तो आपकी स्ट्रेटेजी में प्रॉब्लम है. Then the last year, when I and Abhinav were having the sessions with my students, so what we did, so we take our sessions in the Zoom where people can participate, speak and all. So I said, we just ask, हाँ इसका आंसर क्या होगा? A, B, C, whatever they are talking. देखो इसका आंसर A है, लेकिन मैंने भी पहली बार में B ही लगाया था. And real answer is A. But now let me tell you why the A is real answer. What mistake I did. So when we came up with this kind of explanation, students were more convinced.
Yes.
Rather than those YouTubers, नहीं इसका B इसलिए होगा. अरे आपके 100 क्वेश्चंस नहीं सही हो सकते, एक्सेप्ट करो ना यार. मेरे नहीं होंगे, तुम्हारे भी नहीं होंगे, सिंपल.
चैट जीपीटी के नहीं होंगे सर.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली. तो दैट वाज अ रैंडम. सो सर सेकंड क्वेश्चन टू यू.
Yeah, second question, most importantly, let's say you have not adequately given time so far for mains. Don't worry, like वो बात का बाद में देखा जाएगा, but optional is must and should. Okay, stuck with it to as long as possible, probably till Jan end, right? And then focus on like GS1. Large amount of things overlap with prelims, especially art and culture, history, ancient medieval, and everything. So those things will also, to an extent, be covered, even slightly bit in geography. So focus your energies on ethics, especially case studies. Case studies ऐसे नहीं है कि मतलब लास्ट मोमेंट फिल्म्स के बाद नहीं उठा. केस स्टडी का भी आर्ट होता है सॉल्व करना.
यस ट्रू दैट सर, ट्रू दैट.
Right? Don't run. It's 120 marks and it's low hanging fruit. People do not realize it's a low hanging fruit. 2 sessions or 1 sessions are not enough. You have to practice them. So start practicing at least case study. तो 120 marks हो गए. If possible, try to do a good chunk of low hanging fruits in section A also, जो topics often repeat हो रहे हैं. And then selected topics of GS2 and GS3 for sure, which are like must and should, like for example inclusive growth, agriculture, internal security, all those जो जहाँ से questions पक्के हैं, you should do that. Even in polity, governance, those things you have to finish it, and you can do it. You still have time. And if you push yourself effectively, let's say instead of studying 9 hours, push it to 10, 10 and a half, 11 hours, then you may as well cover almost 2, 3, 4 and optional as well. And yes, obviously, try and write at least one essay per week, or at least 2 essays per 10 days. That is, you can keep on doing it till Feb and March. Like it's just 3 hours or 1.5 hours, so it's your call.
Means you are suggesting to be a cherry pick, to do cherry picking.
Yes.
Is required. Yeah.
What is required. And low hanging fruits. Do not ऐसे नहीं कि वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री पढ़ूंगा, पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस पढ़ूंगा, like वैसे नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be high rewarding areas which should be covered, and which should be covered effectively. ऐसे नहीं कि फिर प्रीलिम्स के बाद like अरे यार पढ़ा था पर नोट्स नहीं बनाए, भूल गया, I did not know, I just studied from a material. No, it should be properly done. कम भी करो, properly करो, so that there is no chance of redo. And जो होगा immediately after May 25th, sit. Don't waste your time.
मेरा सिंपल फंडा है सर इसमें कि अगर पढ़ लिया ना कोई टॉपिक, उस पर 10-20 आंसर लिख लो. नोट्स नहीं है तो आंसर तुम्हारे नोट्स हैं.
आंसर तुम्हारे नोट्स हैं. यस, या पीवाईक्यूज लिख लो सारे, खत्म. नोट्स
एग्जैक्टली.
या
Okay sir, so that's all from my side. Any parting words?
Yes, what's your plan for interview?
So for interview, like you are asking me to reveal the course.
Yes.
But I'm going for the weekly current affair classes. Then I have started interacting with some of the senior officers कि अभी ministries में क्या चल रहा है. I had today only almost 5 to 8 calls. At the end of the day, I will be having one more call with some senior officer. Then I'm planning to visit 3-4 districts. कि grassroots पे क्या चल रहा है. So one is from UP, one is from Haryana. So near to Delhi NCR rural districts I am trying to visit. And apart from it, most likely evergreen thing that I used to do Zoom discussions and all. So I'm certainly going to bring you in there as well this time,
Yeah,
because
I have my students also, so I also do it, but I just don't publicize and everything, which I think it's a bad habit of us. थोड़ा अच्छा काम कर रहे तो उसको थोड़ा दिखाना भी पड़ता है.
नहीं नहीं सर, करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि वरना फिर ऐसे प्रीलिम्स कोर्स बिकते रहेंगे. That's all.
I have no problem with the genuine ones. I'm pretty sure whatever you are planning is going to be good. And a friend of mine is also planning. Okay, that's a big reveal. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
He is also a mentor. So there are always genuine courses, but जो fear के नाम पे and which confuse more than enlighten.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And those are the ones which you should stay away. But one thing I'm sure, sir, हम जितना भी बोल ले, but वो herd mentality and FOMO की वजह से people
कुछ नहीं कर सकते उसका
कुछ नहीं
सर.
कर सकते actually.
Exactly. And apart from it, sir, this time what I have planned, to create the cohorts. So जैसे यूपीएससी का डेट आ जाएगा, उस हिसाब से मैं कोहोर्ट्स बनाऊंगा. उस हिसाब से कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग अप्रोच करने का है कि विद इन द कोहोर्ट देयर शुड बी सम ग्रुप लीडर who will take care of certain things. Because in the last session, these that Akash, Margi, Lavanya, these all were in the similar groups and all. So they almost scored good. So this year it's more about building the leaders rather than being a leader. This is what I'm planning, something new.
That's a perfect thing, because these people are very self-sufficient, sir. Dedicated people को बस राह दिखा दो, वो चल देते हैं.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. This is what I'm planning.
Yeah. Okay, sir. As usual, it was a pleasure, but we should keep doing this often, I feel. Right.
Yeah, certainly. Next time, rather than being a content oriented, let's have some interaction with the students.
Yeah, we can do that. Actually, live interaction.
Yeah, that we will doing. So this time, it was like we had to talk about a number of things. Next time, we will keep it short, from our side, but it should be more students oriented. That's all I will say.
All right,
Chalo, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you very much, and all the best for upcoming mains results to you as well. Keeping fingers crossed.
Same to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Let's see.
Okay.
That's all. God will give us the number for sure.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Bye bye.
Okay,
Take
sir.
care.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
sir.
sir.